My friends at Solid Signal have been asking me for a while to do an assembly video of the Xtreme Signal HD8200XL. This is a great antenna, but it's a big antenna, and there are some things you need to know before you start. You will need some tools, and I will explain what they are in a minute. You will need to do this with another person. Don't try to do this alone. It's a big antenna, and it's really kind of a pain to put together unless you have a second person. Don't try to assemble this antenna up on a roof, even though it may seem like the sensible thing to do. In the end, you're going to end up dropping something. It's either going to break or you're going to lose a bolt or a screw because it drops off the roof and you're never going to see it again. And probably the most important thing I can tell you is to use safety glasses. If you have regular eyeglasses, that's fine, but you should really be using safety glasses because there's a lot of pointy stuff on this antenna and it comes at you when you're not expecting it. Be safe, be careful. Now let's take a look at how to install and assemble this HD8200XL antenna. Start by getting your tools together. At the very least, you're going to need an adjustable wrench like a crescent wrench and a flathead screwdriver. You should also, if possible, have a 3/8 inch wrench and a 7/16 inch wrench. Having these kind of wrenches specifically is going to make installation a lot easier. Now take everything out of the box, open the hardware bag, and make sure you've got everything that you see here. Specifically, 4 bolts, 10 small nuts, 4 large nuts, and 8 washers. While you can get this kind of stuff at a hardware store if you need to, if you're missing anything, call us at Solid Signal and we'll be happy to send it out to you. Most likely, you're not missing anything. You're also going to have a bunch of long spiky metal things, and we'll use each one of these in their proper time. For now, just lay them out and make sure that everything looks good, nothing has been beaten up or dented during shipping, which very rarely happens. Start by finding these smaller pieces, and one by one, fold the directors until they're perpendicular with the boom. In other words, what I'm doing here. You're going to have to kind of do one at a time, a little bit at a time, because they do overlap. And you will see them click into place. Now find the reflector boom. It's the piece that has this kind of trapezoidal thing with a W stamped into it. Now you're going to take the 2 reflectors and you're going to attach them to that piece with a W stamped in using 2 of the bolts and 2 of the smaller nuts. When you're done, it looks like this. Just set it aside. Now you're going to take all of the other little reflectors and directors, all the little bits, and make sure they're perpendicular. This is going to take you some time. I'm not going to lie to you. I've got this video fairly shortened from what it was. It's probably going to take you and a friend about 5 minutes to make sure that everything is set out. Be careful, of course. You can poke an eye out and try to be as careful as you can with the aluminum so that it doesn't bend and nothing gets broken. It's actually fairly easy to do once you get the hang of it, and just make sure that everything is perpendicular. When you're done, lay it all out on the grass so that it's in the general kind of shape of an antenna. You might need to turn things upside down a little bit. Truth is, it doesn't matter which side of the antenna is up when you mount it. However, if you're following this installation guide or the paper printed manual that comes with it, lay out the antenna so that all of the brass screws that you'll see are facing up. In this next step, you're going to remove that brass bolt and the nut, and you're going to slide the front assembly in, which will secure the entire assembly in place. Now find the 2 phasing lines. I've highlighted them here. Swing them out and attach them to the pins that are to the left and right of that brass bolt. Put on a washer and a small nut, and then use the 3/8 inch wrench to tighten it. Remember, don't over-tighten because you don't want to stress the aluminum. Now you're going to do pretty much the same thing, connecting the middle section to the back section. Again, take out the brass bolt, put in the back section, and then tighten it back up. Then attach the phasing lines, just like you did in the front. The last big piece you've got is called the boom brace. Line it up so that these pieces are aligned on the antenna and also on the brace. Then at the back of the antenna, fold these 2 little legs into a triangle and then secure them with one of the screws and one of the nuts. Then go to the front of the antenna. The other side of the boom brace attaches to the reflector, as you can see here. Again, with a screw and with a nut. Now that you're at the front of the antenna, find these little posts here. I've highlighted them to make it easier to see. This is where the balun is going to attach. Put on a nut and a washer, but don't tighten them all the way. Then, put the balun or the transformer on and tighten everything up from there. Now take the black plastic caps that you got and push them into any place where you're seeing an open end to the metal. This is really more of an appearance step. The final step here is to attach the mounting braces, basically like this. You want to do this before you put it on a mast. Put the U-bolts all the way through, tighten them up with the larger bolts, and make sure it's still loose because you're going to want to tighten it on the mast when you get it there. Yes, the truth is there are a lot of steps to assembling this antenna, but once you get it up on the roof, get it aimed, it's going to be with you for years and years and years. It's an excellent antenna, and it's available now at solidsignal.com.